It's time to talk taxes.
New friends, new opportunities, new partners. EG Tax.
It's Ask the Tax Lady with Esther Gulius and EG Tax on News Radio 930 WBEN. To reach Esther now, call 803-0930. Toll free at 1-800-616-9236. And cell calls are free at star 930. And now, live from the WBEN studios, it's Esther Gulius.
Hey, everybody, this is the Tax Lady, and we got 10 days before the end, and we want to help you. And you know you get the straight scoop from us here on WBEN Ask the Tax Lady every Saturday. And we know what's happening, and now you're going to know. Think about how popular you're going to be at the Christmas parties when you say, I know what's happening with the tax law, because I listen to Auntie Esther on Saturday mornings. Saturday afternoons. I got Tiffany Fabian here. Hey, Tiff.
Hey there, Esther. How are you doing?
And Christopher.
Hello,
Esther. Yeah. All right, everybody. I hope you have your Christmas shopping done. I know I am done. I thought I was done, and then I remember people that I think I didn't do, and then I add some on. And so I'm sort of done. I did a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, which is so...
I love Amazon.
He's one of the top 10 people of Barbara Walters this year. He was.
I love
great.
Amazon.
The
I just love Amazon.
Founder.
They ship it to your house. The prices are great.
Yeah.
The merchandise great. Great.
And it's so easy.
It is so easy. My gosh, it's so great. All right, so we're going to keep you up to date so that you know what's happening in the tax law. We have like 10 days before the end of the year. We're going to help you with that too. 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on a cell phone, because what you have to say is really interesting to us and everybody else. I wanted to wish you all Merry Christmas, because it'll be after Christmas next Saturday.
Yep, because on Friday is the big day. So,
right.
Yep, absolutely.
Right.
It'll be the day after. That's called, what do you call it?
And if you don't
Canada?
like Christmas, then you should work on Friday. That's how I feel. Then you should all go to work. Anybody who doesn't like Christmas, they should work on Friday. But the rest of us who love Christmas, we're going to be with our family, friends, and we're going to thank God for what he's done for us. So.
That's right.
All right, let's talk. You know, we said that we thought they were going to pass the extenders.
Yep.
And sure Christopher, what's happening with the extenders?
Well, they've gone through 2 out of the 3 so far. One more to go, and that's the president.
Right, he's in Hawaii, but when he comes back, he's going to sign it.
Yep.
So the extender of the extension of the extenders, the extended extension bill is back in place, and they now made it permanent.
Some of them.
Some of it.
Which is
all right.
so great.
So what's permanent is the additional child tax credit based upon wages of $3,000 or more.
Yeah.
Effectively, it's a refund for people that make at least $3,000 in wages with children under the age of 17 of your FICA.
Yep.
And that is a permanent change to the tax law.
Yeah, when I'm teaching my tax class, I tell my students that it's called an Energizer Bunny, right, Chris?
That's right.
So,
Keeps going.
So actually, they give you a refund of the FICA you're paying.
Right.
American Opportunity Tax Credit stays the same.
Yeah,
and that's permanent.
That's the college credit.
Right, and that's staying the same.
First 2,000 is 100%. The next 2,000 is up to 50%.
25%.
Yeah,
right.
Yep.
Up to $2,500. And the enhanced earned income credit for people with 3 or more children, permanent.
Yay.
Educator expenses, teachers, you're going to be happy about this. Not only is it permanent, it's been indexed for inflation.
That's great, because it's been $250 up to maximum $250.
Right, but it was supposed to go away.
Yeah.
Right? Sales taxes. So this is your week to go get yourself a car, and the sales taxes are deductible.
Which is great news.
And anybody that bought it during the year, the sales taxes are deductible. Permanent change.
Yep.
Charity rollover. I've had people say, "Can I do the rollover from my IRA to my charity up to $100,000?" And we kept saying, "We don't know." But yes, that not only is in the law, it's permanent.
That's right.
So if you're somebody that wanted to bless your charity, and you wanted to do the rollover, it's going to be in law as soon as Obama signs it, and he says he's going to.
Right,
so.
and that counts for their minimum distribution as well.
Which is really cool.
Yep.
All right, what isn't permanent? It's just permanent through. Oh no, this is permanent business, right? R&D credit, research and development credit is permanent. The enhanced 179 expensing up to $500,000, so you could buy a large amount of equipment up to $500,000 and write it off. Depreciation on retail and restaurant capital improvements is now 15 years instead of 39 years, which means it's faster and it saves you money. Small business stock held longer than 5 years is 100% tax-free. These are all permanent provisions. And at least what's great is that they did make this stuff permanent instead of every year we're waiting if it's going to go into it. Now, all right, now this is where they kind of chickened out, and this is only extended through 2016. So we're doing the 2015 tax return in January and then through 2016. All right, the cancellation of debt on personal residences up to $2 million is extended through 2016. So let's say that you had a house and you defaulted on the mortgage and you just couldn't do it, and they send you a cancellation of debt income. It's tax-free up to the first $2 million.
Right. Which is nice. I know that I did some last year who had that on their tax return, and I was like, well, this could be the good last year, so you're lucky you did it this year.
Right.
But it's extended another year.
2 years.
Yeah.
15 and 16.
Yeah.
Tuition and fees is extended. So we have AOTC, American Opportunity Tax Credit. We have lifetime learning and tuition and fees up to the first $4,000 as an adjustment to income. So that's through 2016.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's for people that you might have one child that's an undergraduate, yourself and your wife in college, and so you've already maxed out the lifetime learning, and you can bump it off to tuition and fees. So that's another thing, right? All right, the delay in Obamacare excise tax on medical devices. So they were going to charge an excise tax on certain medical devices. They've waited on that. And here's the other one. I told everybody that they wouldn't do this. The Cadillac tax is now delayed until 2020. Those of you that are in unions and said, I'm so worried about the Cadillac excise tax. I knew these people in Congress have no, what is the word?
Cojones?
Cojones?
Can you say cojones on air? I'm not sure.
Yes,
you can.
that's okay.
That one's okay.
Tyler said it's okay. So, okay, yeah. And I knew that they wouldn't do
because
that
was
excise tax.
Huge.
And so it's been bumped off to 2020. So everybody that's in the union with all kinds of great medical, yay for you!
That's right.
They're doing that again. So
and let's not forget the energy credits too have been extended.
that's right. And so it's still up to $500 lifetime, but it's been extended. So
and then let's not forget about the film and TV production deductions up to $15 million.
Right. So those of you that are going to be shooting movies, you're happy about that, right?
Yeah.
So those are just kind of the highlights, but yes, they extended the extenders, and this is what, if you listened to conservative radio, some of them, Levine was like nuts over this, because really they're raising the budget deficit, the deficit even more.
Yeah.
You know, like they say, we don't have a income problem, we have a spending. No, we have a paying for problem.
But then I also heard on the radio that they're going to raise the interest rates for the first time in a long
they
time.
did. 0.025%.
So that means it's going to cost a little bit more to
borrow money. And so I'm going to tell you, if you have a higher than 4% interest rate and you don't look at refinancing, shame on you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, honest to God. And EG Tax would help you. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Call us. We want to hear from you with all your packages and things of that nature. Talk to you on the other side. I know this is Run Rudolph.
Bruce Springsteen?
No, it's Brian Adams.
Brian Adams.
I like Run Rudolph. Hey, I'm Esther Gulius, Run Esther, from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Love to hear what you have to say.
We were just talking about interest rates, and I wanted to say also, of course, the interest rates on cars are going to go up. My mother-in-law got her very first car loan this year, and so her interest rates were so low. You know, your CD's earning more money than the interest rate it costs to get a car loan.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be, that you have the money to offset it.
Yes.
We've had Larry wait for so long. We got to talk to our friend Larry from Georgia. Hey, Larry, how y'all doing? Larry.
As you know, I got to say, I think you, in fact, probably are the inspiration for the Power Bunny. The Power Bunny. I swear. And Chris, I think the term cannoli, that term you use, I think it's an old Gaelic term. That's what I heard anyway.
It's a Gaelic term. I don't know if it's Gaelic term, but you got the gist of it, right, Larry?
I did. Actually, I'm calling you about deductions. Taking Chris's always wonderful good advice. You know, I pay my state taxes. We have that, so
Yep.
at least I'm eligible for eligible to itemize. But you know, I want to ask you, how do you figure out, Esther, if possible, the actual dollar value for each deduction? For example,
Okay, it's whatever tax bracket you're in, Larry. So let's
Okay.
say that you're in the 25% bracket, okay?
Okay, close.
So
Yeah.
let's say that you had an extra $10,000 in itemized deductions. What you really save is 25% of the $10,000 or $2,500. That's it.
Okay.
So many times people think that if they give a $20,000 car, they're going to save $20,000 in taxes. If they're in the 10% bracket, they have a $20,000 charitable deduction. They only save $2,000. So I always tell people to go get the cash because you're much better not getting the deduction. But obviously, if you have certain things that you are paying, then and you're able to take the itemized deductions, it's like adding a cherry on top of the cake. But
Sure.
it's not better than getting real cash.
It's always like when people ask if they should pay off their mortgage or take the mortgage interest deduction, we always say usually it's always
Pay off
better
your
to
mortgage.
pay off your
Right.
mortgage.
Okay?
Thank you so much,
Thanks,
darling.
Larry. Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Bye.
Thank you, dear. Bye-bye.
What, Chris?
You know, I just, before we get any further with the callers and all that, I just want you know, we talked about what's new with taxes, what's new with EG Tax. Don't forget, starting in Tuesdays in January at 6:30 p.m. on WBBZ, Channel 5 on Time Warner, we will be on air.
Right, you get to see us.
Yep.
That's pretty
I don't know
cool.
if that's good. You should really have digested your dinner first. Maybe that's a good thing. But it'll be wonderful because you get to not only hear us on Saturdays, you get to see us do the show. And so it's great. So if you call in on Saturday, you get to hear your question. You get to hear your question live on WBBZ.
And Larry, well, if he could see you, he could see his own very personal version of the Energizer Bunny.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Which is you.
All right. Last week, somebody called. Jay was telling me that this person called after the show was concluded, and he had a sale on a farm, and I guess somebody was allowing him to stay in the farm after the sale, and he was wondering how that was going to be handled. The sale, if he was actually farming the farm, and there was depreciation taken, then when he sells that portion of the farm, that's going to be a 4797 event. But if he had his own personal residence in there, then the sale of the personal residence, if he was married filing a joint return, up to $500,000 would be tax free, and $250,000 if he's single is going to be tax free. The farm itself has to be handled as a sale, and he has to recapture depreciation. And then he was saying that they were going to allow him to live back in the farm. Now, I don't know if Jay knows if they were going to make him pay rent or not, but if they're gifting him that back, then what would happen is the whoever is doing the gifting, if it's got fair market value, if he's getting some kind of benefit for that, it might be taxable income, right, Chris?
That's right. That's right. You know, you got to look at both sides, and that's almost if he's farming, it could almost be considered a bartering. If he's doing the work for them, they're letting him stay there rent free.
Right.
So that could be double.
Right, because that's kind of, if he's getting a benefit for providing a service, then it's going to be taxable. So that all depends on the situation. So if you're listening this week, give us a call. So 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on your cell phone, so we can get more information. But that's basically the thumbnail sketch of the whole thing, right?
Yep.
All right, now, And by the way, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on his cell phone. Yeah, Tiff.
And then also Mike and Glenn Lomas were telling us there was a person holding, and he wanted to know if he put money into his SEP, if he could also put money into his Roth. And so the answer is yes, he could. So
Right.
that person hung up prior to us grabbing, but he could do both, so that's good news.
Okay, now let's talk about what you can do in the next 10 days, 15 days to minimize your tax liability. Pensions. Again, you still have some time at work to put money into your pension plan. And if you say, "Oh, that I have a percentage I can put in," that's not true. It's a it's not defined benefit. It's
a dollar
amount that you can put in. So you actually can fund your pension at work, especially if you have an employer match, which I think we've been beating the drum on this for the last 3 or 4 weeks, which is like free money, and you want to make sure that you do that if you have an employer match.
Yep. And, and the people who said, well, I don't have a pension at work. I don't have a 401k. Well, you always have IRAs that you can also put money into up until April 15th.
Right.
So there is an option for you also.
Right. The other thing, charity. And now we just found out that this is going to be extended, so you can do the rollover up to $100,000 from your traditional IRA and fulfill your RMD.
Right.
Required minimum distribution,
and then
and transfer it into a charity without it going through your personal return.
Yep, and I also wanted to say a nice thing, if you're doing a pension, if you're a lower mid-income person, there's also an opportunity to get the pension savers credit. So something to consider, too, when you're putting money into an IRA or your pension. You
right,
know?
Which is up to a 50% credit of what you put into your pension plan.
Right.
Gifting, wonderful. Grandmas and grandpas, wealthy people. You're wondering what to get somebody. You can give up to $14,000 per person per year. It's not taxable to the person you're giving it to, and it's a great way if you're thinking about getting your estate lower for estate planning. That's something you might want to do. Effectively, people could give more than that, right, you guys?
Yep, they could give as much as they want. Before the $14,000 comes into play when it's the gift tax form, the 709, that would have to get filled out if you give more than $14,000 to one person. And it doesn't mean you're going to owe money if you give somebody $16,000.
Right. So there's a tax return. You have to do this little gift tax return. Not hard to do. It basically reports to the Internal Revenue that you went over the magic number of $14,000. It adjusts your unified exclusion. But if your estate is not worth over $5.5 million, and quite frankly, I don't know too many people who has an estate over $5.5 million, then it's never going to cost anything except for the nuisance of having to do the gift tax return.
That's right.
And it's a great way to estate plan.
And then I get this call all the time at the office. People are like, well, I want a gift. And so is it a write-off to me? And no, it's not a write-off to you when you gift. And so
only gifts to 501c3s,
Right.
Now,
charitable contributions.
Now, I may be wrong, but I remember this from a couple years ago. Your grandparents used to be able to gift up to $60,000 for their grandchildren in a 529.
That's right.
And take the full.
That's right.
As a write-off on New York State. Can they still do that?
That's what I understand.
Okay. So, I mean, if you do
I thought
have
it
a
was
nice
10,000, but I don't know how they can do that.
Because they used to do a 5-year at one time.
Right. But I think it's still $10,000 a year, but I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that one out. But again, that's another great thing. Like at Christmas time, if grandparents wanted to fund for a kid's education, you can put the money into a 529, and that's a tax deduction on New York State.
Pretty cool.
Right? All right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady from EG Tax, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. Love to hear what you have to say. We're going to go to the phones and talk to Dave in Lockport. Hey, Dave.
Hello, Esther Golias, the tax lady
hey,
from EG
sir.
Tax.
How are you?
I'm okay. Hey, how are you?
Good.
I got a question. I hope I can get this out so it makes sense.
All right.
I've got a whole life policy.
Okay.
I'm not planning on cashing in yet, but if I do, they said it's worth $15,000.
Okay.
I told them to send me the dividends every year, so I get a check like this. Say it's $500.
Okay.
Is it beneficial for me to put that, to claim that every year, especially when it doesn't add to my tax liability that year? Or
you mean the dividends?
Yes.
Well, the dividends on a whole life policy They're not sending you a 1099 for
No.
that, right?
No.
It's just a return of your own money, and so it's not taxable. So it doesn't. It's not taxable. So you would never claim it.
I would never. So it doesn't get rid of some of the liability that I would get
Nope.
if I put the whole thing in.
That's
for
correct.
$15,000 in the future.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to break for news, and we're going to see you on the other side with your questions.
Is that Como? What's his name? Who sings this, Chris?
Bing.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, Chris!
Hey, I wanted to say.
Yeah. We want
You
to
know,
hear.
Kalika
I know that one.
I wanted to say, Dave from Lockport called and he asked about would it be better if he claimed the dividends, and you said you couldn't because that was his own investment.
No, you wouldn't.
But I was thinking for people that it's not part of their own investment, they can, when they claim their dividends, what I think Dave was saying is it adds to his basis so that when he sells it, his gain is less.
But you see, if it were taxable dividends, they'd be sending him a 1099,
Right,
which would
I know.
increase his basis anyway.
Right.
And he had to claim it.
Right.
But the reason they're not sending him a 1099, it's not taxable.
But I mean, for other people in that situation, and so
well, then it is adding to their basis. But I have to tell you, of people that are listening, I know your stock basis is wrong because you don't keep track of your basis and you don't add it back in. And so what happens is you overpay, and it breaks my heart. But what can I do?
It's all
except for cry. I cry a lot.
It's all part of the racket. I think they pay more taxes on it, and it's
The racket?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. 8030930, 8030930. We got Jay sitting here waiting for you to call, and you're not calling. You're shopping. Now, there's no reason why you shouldn't be calling. 8030930,
I'm a size extra
star
large.
930 on your cell phone, on the way to church. Give Auntie Esther and Tiff and Chris a call. Okay, other things you should do before the end of the year: itemized deductions. If you got high medical, pay more medical. Sometimes it's just sitting down and writing that check.
Yeah.
Make sure you pay your property taxes. Make that extra house payment so you get the extra interest deduction. Clean out your closet. Give stuff to charity, right? Business expenses. This time of year, take your colleagues, not your colleagues, your business partners, your sales associates out to lunch, buy those business gifts, save all the receipts. All that stuff is deductible. It reduces your tax liability. Pay your estimated payment to New York State if you're somebody that has a liability in New York State. Pay it before December 31st. Don't wait till January
Larry from
the 15th.
Georgia just talked about that. Larry
Right.
from Georgia did that. Yep. So
Right.
make sure you do those things. You know.
Right. I mean, Christmas time. Here's a great time to go buy, like if you have an office and a home, you'd look at your desk, you say, wow, that's a ratty desk. I
need
think
a
I'm going to
new
go buy
computer."
myself a new one, and it's tax deductible.
Right. And then
I mean, you would never do it just to do it, but if it really is a ratty desk.
Right. And then holiday parties, just team morale building and things like that, and charity. I had somebody call the other office the other day, and he was doing just this. He was planning about his itemized deductions and what he could do, and he was adding up all of his medical, and he was writing his checks to charity. And so you just want to.
I tell you, this
what you gotta do.
last couple weeks, that's all I think of is I got to do this, I got to do that,
Right.
because I want to reduce my tax liability.
And actually, the extra mortgage payment is a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I have nothing but good ideas.
Gosh.
All right, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We're going to go to Wayne and Elma. Hey, Wayne, how can we help you?
Esther, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
The extender bill.
Uh-huh.
Is the sales tax
Yes.
still part of that?
Yes.
And it's permanent.
And it's permanent.
Oh, wow.
So
Really?
go buy that car. All the car dealers should thank us.
Oh, they
I
certainly
mean,
should.
go. I mean, if you're somebody, especially look at New York State retirees
Yes.
who really don't have any New York State withholding because you're basically out of the system. You don't have to pay any taxes, and so you go buy that $40,000 car at 8%. That's $3,200 in sales tax there or abouts. That's going to be deductible. I mean, it's like $1,000 extra refund.
If you're an itemizer.
Right?
Yes, thank you, Esther.
Thank you, Wayne.
Love your show.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930. Star 930 cell phone. Chris, you got your hand up?
I do. Ooh. You know, I was helping someone earlier today, and speaking of tax, and this person has a relative in a nursing home, and they were private pay, and I said, save your receipts. And they looked at me, and they're like, what do you mean? I said, on that receipt is a bed tax, New York State assessment tax. They
6%.
Yep. Well, they actually, nursing homes now charge 7%, but New York State gives you 6% of the total tax. So if 6% of the total fee that you pay. So if the room is $10,000, the tax is $600. You get $600 a month.
$7,200.
That's a lot of money.
Hello.
Save your receipts.
And it's not $7,200 deduction. They send
money.
you back the money. Now, they won't send you back the money unless you apply for it for New York State. So let's say that you have somebody that you love in a nursing home, and they don't even have to file a New York State return. But they're paying their private pay patient. They get the money back for this bed tax only if they file the return and do the credit.
You mean New York State doesn't just mail them the money in case?
No, and not only do they not mail you the money, they ask for proof.
Yeah, but I said to this person, I said, look, if it's $7,200 and say 1,000 people don't know about it, that means New York State is going to keep $7.2 million.
Right.
Wow.
I can't picture them doing that, Chris.
Wow.
I can't picture it.
It breaks my heart.
It does.
Yeah, well, it does break my heart. That's true, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
They do keep it, and they know it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people get so upset about the tax law is that it's unless you do the thing, they don't have to let you know.
Well, that's like the new
And the other thing is they only talk in forms.
I know
right?
what you're going to say. We've been getting oodles
IRS
and oodles
letters.
of-
People are getting letters saying, oh, you paid a penalty on your health care and your income was so low you shouldn't have.
the shared responsibility penalty.
Yep. So instead of them saying, here's
We'll
your
send you the money.
Yeah. Please send an amended return so we can spend a lot more money than the $80 that you're going to get back.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So-
of those letters, I think 90% or 95% are correct that they should have not paid the shared
Right.
responsibility. So,
But instead of sending the money back automatically, they're putting the burden back on the
yeah,
taxpayer.
and I think Chris told me, well, all that extra work that the IRS has to do to have somebody process the amended return and just
It's going to cost them
wasted.
about $500.
So, and if
to
you're
send an
somebody that's
$80
gotten those
check.
kind of letters and it says we think you shouldn't have paid your shared responsibility, give EG Tax a call and we'll do the amended return for
I
you.
had the cutest little girl. She was about 30 years old. She goes, I got this letter about the shared. She goes, I think I got to go get a lawyer. I go, you don't have to go get a lawyer. It was so cute. She goes, I paid my penalty for not having health insurance.
That and like we said last year, there's all these exceptions to penalties, and what the good thing is, you got to give kudos to them that the federal
Yeah.
government did point it out. That's
right.
a
That's
wonderful thing. Okay, other things you can do before January the 1st, Christmas parties. Like yesterday, we had an office party. We went to the Chinese restaurant. It doesn't seem very Christmassy to go to a Chinese restaurant, but we did go to a Chinese
Feliz
restaurant.
Navidad.
Oh, wait, don't they do that in A Christmas Story?
Yes, they do.
They do at the end. They go have a Christmas duck or something.
So there, but the nice thing is we talked about work. We talked about the season, where
Right.
we are, what
That's
we
right.
got to do.
Right.
And
We're not just all bah humbug,
Right.
but I
Right.
mean, but we did, and it's tax deductible, so it's a wonderful way
it
to
was
build morale
team bonding,
and
yep.
team bonding and all that kind of stuff. So things of that nature, you'd be surprised.
And I got to see everybody's ugly Christmas sweater, so it was good. You'd be surprised
Right.
what you can do.
All right. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 803-0930, 803-0930, star 930 on his cell phone. We got Eric, who's been waiting so patiently. Hey, Eric, how can we help you?
Hi, Esther. I just became disabled, and I received Social Security disability.
Right.
And for years, I've been playing the lottery. And I was just wondering how that would affect Social Security disability.
Well, I mean, did you win, Eric?
No, I didn't. I'm just
okay. All right, all right. Let's just. Are you a single guy?
Yes.
All right. So let's just say your Social Security disability is $20,000. Okay. The $20,000 is going to be completely tax-free if that's your only source of income. But let's say next year you hit the lottery and do $100,000 in the lottery, okay? You get to reduce your $100,000 if you're an itemizer by the cost of other gambling. So let's say you had $20,000 in gambling, so that you end up with $80,000 just for simple math. Which will make your Social Security half taxable. So that'll bring you up to $90,000. So you will, at that point in time, if your income exceeds, including half your Social Security, over $25,000, you're going to pay. Actually, he'll end up paying 85. You'd actually pay 85% on your Social Security. So if you do hit the lottery, Eric, you're going to pay taxes.
And Eric,
on your SSI.
I was wondering, in 2015, did you earn any wages before you got Social Security disability?
No.
Okay, not at all. Okay,
because SSI is for low income people.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering because I was thinking lump sum election.
I mean, it's not going to impact how much you receive from Social Security. Right. They're not going to say, "Oh, you owe us anything back." It's only going to impact your
tax return.
Would it impact what I make next year on Social Security disability?
No. No.
Only in the year of winnings.
Right.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. Merry Christmas, Eric. Thank you. Okay, I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on cell phone. We're going to take a short break, and we'll join Audrey and Dave and the rest of your calls on the other side of our break, and we'll see you then.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light.
I know who that is.
Beautiful song.
That is Frank Sinatra.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. See, if we stay off like Fifth Stairway and
Broken Bone.
Cosmic Wheels.
I've never even heard of that.
I know all normal people. Tyler Stamer is like a music freak. Anyway, but I'm a tax freak. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady, 8030930, 8030930, star 930 on a cell phone. We got like 12 minutes to talk to you. A couple things I wanted to talk to you about. We said at the top of the show, refinance your home. Interest rates are going to go up. Now's the time to refinance. I can't emphasize that. Quicken Loans is great. You don't have, you can go right online
and make it so easy.
Yeah, and it's remarkable.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is throwing away money if you don't.
Open up the window.
Watch the interest rates on your credit cards. This time of year, oh my gosh,
I even be careful. I know Chris and I in February have some credit cards that have 0% that they're going to open up, and all the interest, if we don't pay them, is going to come into fruition.
Yep.
So
start January the 1st. Promise yourself you're going to sign up for your pension plan at work. If you put 1% away, it's something. Put it away.
Auntie Esther's on her knees.
I'm telling you,
Like
put money into your IRAs. Okay. The other thing is, if you're a salesperson and you're on a non-accountable plan, get on an accountable plan. And so Esther's talking in gibberish. Let's put it this way. Go to your employer if you're on a non-accountable plan.
Well, first, what is a non-accountable plan?
All right. So it means like a non-accountable plan means the employer just says, here's $500 a month. Go spend what you need. I'm going to give you $500 a month. But you are driving your car and you're taking people out and you're buying them things, and you don't have to submit an expense report, and he just gives you $500 a month. Well, that has to go on your W-2.
Yeah.
So you're paying income tax and FICA on it, and then you have to take and do the expenses on a 2106. If the employer puts you on an accountable plan where they say, okay, Chris, you have to tell me your mileage, tell me what you spent on this, give me your receipts, and the employer reimburses you, then none of it's taxable. And I had this convoluted example here. Excuse me. Let's say a guy has $75,000 on a non-accountable plan, and he gets a flat rate of $800 a month by his employer. He's going to pay an extra FICA on this of $420 a year. plus he has to pay the income taxes on the extra money that's in the non-accountable plan. And so the bottom line is, if he took a pay cut, the bottom line is he'd actually come out with more money, because when he's on a non-accountable plan, he's only going to get a percentage back of everything he's spending over what he's reimbursed, and he actually would come out $2,000 ahead by not paying the FICA and not having to do the big 2106 by going on an accountable plan. And I don't have time to go into all of it, but I will tell you, if you are a self-employed person, not a self-employed, outside salesperson on a W-2, and the employer just gives you a flat rate, talk to us, because we'll talk to your employer and show them how the employer makes out too.
Yeah,
right?
And then even some people are on a non-accountable plan and they don't even use the 2106 because they don't know it.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And we haven't even talked about the AMT. So sometimes what happens is this person's getting the higher salary, which they feel so good about, but that causes them to pay alternative minimum tax. So it's like, so they're paying 26%.
And they could be losing part of their child tax credit and other credits.
True. Oh, my gosh. And we want to help, and I'm going to tell you, EG Tax will help you. You can go to our website at egtax.com. We want to help. We are on your side. Okay. Yeah, Chris.
I was just going to say, and the employer will save money on Social Security and Medicare,
right.
Unemployment at the FUTA, the SUTA,
The WUDAs and the DUDAs.
Yes.
Star Wars. All right, let's go to Audrey in Cambria. Hey, Audrey.
Hi there.
How are you? Merry Christmas. What can we help you with?
Thank you. I'm thinking, what do I need for medical, and what, are my premiums counted into that? My husband I have a lot of medical this year.
All right, so here's this.
Over $6,000.
All right, all right. So first of all, what do you and your husband make approximately in income?
I earn probably $50,000. He's disabled. He probably between disability and Social Security makes $25,000.
All right, how much is his Social Security?
I think it's $1,400 a month.
All right, and then he has a disability pension too?
He gets disability from the state. He was disabled from work. He gets $1,100 from work.
He wasn't a firefighter or a policeman, was he?
No.
Okay, so
maybe you call it compensation.
Workers' comp?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Okay, all right, so most of his Social Security is going to be tax-free, and his workers' comp is tax-free. So she's looking at income of about $55,000. So, and you're how old, Audrey?
I'm 60. He's 62.
All right. So you need medical over $5,500 in order to itemize and use it as and get it as an itemized deduction. So you said it's at $6,000. So your travel to get to the doctors is deductible. Your dentist, your prescriptions, the health insurance you pay yourself, not through your employer.
Oh,
okay, because that would be pre-taxed. This would be checks you're writing out yourself. Your doctors, your dentists, your co-pays, your
dentist, things you put on your credit card to pay before the end of the year.
Right. So all of those are going to add up. Pardon me?
I'm over 10,000 because I had 2 dental implants, which were very
a lot of money.
They're wonderful, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are.
I'm still in the process. I still need
So before December the 31st, if you got any other medical bills hanging around, if you need glasses, this is the time to do it, because you're going to get back a percentage of what you're paying in.
And do you guys have a mortgage, Audrey?
No.
That's good.
Well, she doesn't have a mortgage. I'm just making sure that you itemize.
Do you itemize,
yes.
Audrey? Yeah.
Yes, we itemize.
Okay. So whatever you can do from a medical standpoint, since you're going to beat the floor, is going to be an itemized deduction.
Like Tiff said, if you have any that are due and they're not due till January, put them on a credit card now.
Right.
Because next year hopefully you won't have those big medical bills. So take advantage now, pay them now, put them on that credit card, pay the credit card off in January, and get that deduction on your 15 return.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and I was going to wait. I do owe still owe $500 on my mouth.
Because you won't have enough in 16.
Put it on your credit card.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Audrey. Merry
Okay,
Christmas.
thank you. Thank
Bye-bye,
you,
dear. Okay, and we're going to go to, and that's the important thing.
Planning.
It's, you say to yourself, oh, I really don't want to make my bank account go down. But the bottom line is, I had a client the other day that paid $50,000 to New York State because he has a large liability every year. He's in a 40% tax bracket. So by paying his estimate now, he saved $20,000 in federal taxes.
But I'm sure it was painful to pay.
Well, it was because he said, I'd rather wait. I'd rather wait till it's due in January. Well, okay, it's your $20,000,
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, we're going to go to Dave in Hamburg. Hello, David. Is it snowing there?
No, it's nice out here in Hamburg.
Ah, that's great.
It's peaceful.
I have to tell you, if I owned a snow,
talk in your show rather than listening to music while I'm waiting, I compliment you on that.
Oh, thank you, Dave. What can we help you with?
Okay, we're transferring our home to our kids with a lifetime estate.
All right.
And then my question is that tax deductible?
No.
The attorney fee?
Nope. Because basically, when you're doing a life estate, the kids can't sell the house out from under you. You retain ownership, more or less, the control of the ownership. The taxes are still going to be as if you are still the owner. And what happens is upon your death, what happens is it passes to the kids through the estate. They get the stepped-up basis, and it's a win-win situation.
Dave,
so it won't be deductible.
Esther taught me a long time ago, attorney fees are anything that you can write off attorney fees if it's anything to grab taxable income. She taught me.
To make more money.
And
this is really to avoid, to help in estate planning, so it wouldn't be. But it's a great move.
Right. And the other thing is, in a Roth plan, if you have a stock that took a big loss, is that a write-off, or being a Roth, it's not?
All right. Let's say you had $100,000 that you put into a Roth, which you've already paid taxes on.
Right.
And you liquidate the Roth, and you take out $80,000, and it lost $20,000. The $20,000 loss would be a deduction, but you have to liquidate the whole thing.
Same with an annuity, right?
So if I have one stock which I lost, say, $5,000 on, and I sell that stock,
you'd have to liquidate the Roth. So let's say your whole value of your Roth is $50,000. It's now down to $45,000. You have to liquidate the Roth, take the money out, and then you'd be able to take the $5,000 loss.
I can't take a little out each year.
You can't take a little at a time. Nope.
All righty. Thank you.
All right.
very
Thanks,
much.
Dave. Merry Christmas.
You too.
Bye-bye. Okay, we got Ida. Hey, Ida, how can we help you?
Hello.
Hi, you want to turn that off, your radio, Ida, so you can hear us?
Yes, yes, Esther, this is Ida.
Yeah, hi, Ida.
Listen, would you talk to my son, because it's very hard for me to hear.
I'm sorry, dear. What can I help you with?
Yeah, Esther?
Yeah.
My mom has a question as to something that occurred when my father passed away.
Okay.
He had a IRA account, a normal one, and it was from his work, basically.
Sure.
The account, my father passed away 5 years ago, when the account was transferred over to her, it was put in as a beneficiary IRA.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And is that normal?
Yeah, well, it would have gone from him to her. She was the beneficiary, the wife, spouse, and she would have, it just goes into her name.
Okay, because I thought it should have probably been transferred over to her, like a normal IRA. If she would have, I don't know what that would be exactly, but she would have transferred her to her without being a beneficiary IRA.
Well, but it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. She was going to be able to get your dad's IRA from him to her, and she doesn't have to do anything but RMDs until she's 70 and a half.
Okay, she's 90.
All right, so she has to do RMDs out of there.
Yeah, she's been doing that.
Okay.
And the problem is that her other IRAs that she has, whether or not they were coming from my dad's account or whatever, are set up differently. She's only having to take, I don't know what the factor number is exactly, but
well, at 90 it'd be pretty low. But you know what? My problem is I'm running out of time.
Yes, I know that.
If you want to call us Monday, 632-7886, or visit me online at egtax.com, I'll call you right back, okay?
Okay, 632...
7886 on Monday.
7886.
Okay?
Got it. Later.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Golias, the tax lady. Len, if you hang on, we'll get to you on the other side. Everybody else, have a wonderful, blessed Christmas. See you next week. Bye-bye. I'm Esther Gulius.